Yo, what's good, boys? We finally got a new debugger update, and outside of the, super long wait time and few bugs with the loading screen, it was the best update we've gotten in months. But for some reason, a lot of people are upset, and I don't really understand why. So to basically explain this update in a nutshell, it's basically a lot of balancing geared towards ganks. Some of them affect Chime and overall gameplay a little bit, but it's mostly just taking away the problematic cheesy playstyles in ganks and making it easier to fight against for the average player. Balancing for ganks has been asked about for a super long time, so it's good to see that some of it is finally coming into play here, and although it's not perfect, it is a good step forward. I'll explain some of the big things from this update, and a lot of you are actually confused about some of the tempo changes they did this update. So, to explain them real quick, basically a lot of changes involve shifting how vents work in the game now. They shifted how vents function from attacker to victim, to where they used to be a victim to the attacker. So basically, if you don't understand what that means, it now means that you would be more compensated for your tempo buildup when you're being attacked by more than one person. Because before, it was only giving you the amount of tempo as the victim compared to now. Because before, it was not giving you as much tempo as you should have when you're fighting that many people in a gank. They also reduced the vent cooldown depending on your combat tag, which is super good change because it's already hard enough to fight more than one person in a gank, so it's good to give the people as much help as they need for their fights. They also nerfed the Res Bell synergy with Vortex Echo, which was a super broken ganking meta right there. So it's glad to see it's I guess fixed or patched, so it should be easier to fight in ganks, and I don't know how the Vortex Echo's players are going to work about it now. Both Jet Striker and Gale caught some nerfs in gank scenarios, so they should be a little bit easier to chase. I'm mostly talking about Rush to the Ancients, Arrow Gliding, and Stratus and Gale Step here, which were super hard to chase after because if you didn't have enough agility or enough input as your opponent did, you just weren't able to chase them. Sadly, for my Great Axe users out there, Brazen Blow finally caught a nerf. If you played Great Axe, you would know that these talents were super broken, so it's sad to see them go, but it must be done for the sake of balancing. Sightless Beam finally got a nerf, which was a must-have in ganks, alright? Sightless Beam was a super broken tech, and I'm sure a lot of you have actually been hit with this combo a lot. It was super annoying to deal with, and it's been asking for nerfs for a long time, so it is now finally ventable, so it should be easier to deal with. And probably one of the biggest balancing changes this week was actually removing the move stacks on Heavenly Wind, alongside making Clutching Shadow hopefully rollable now, which is huge and super needed because neither mantra had a lot of counterplay to it before, so it should be easier to deal with these move stacks and rollable mantras now. Two super cheesy Thundercall mantras caught some nerfs finally, being Lightning Strikes and Storm Cage, which were abused a lot in ganks. Lightning Strikes now has Parry Stun, and Storm Cage finally affects the user. So you wouldn't be able to actually cheese with these mantras as much anymore. Two of the best legendary heavy weapons, being Bloodfowler and Pyrekeeper, finally caught some nerfs, which was deserved because the crits on both were pretty busted. Rising Flame caught a nerf to make it more similar to an actual uppercut, which is kind of weird, and if you use Rising Wind out there, you're gonna have to shift to this new mantra because it's basically a whole new mantra now. Curse of the Ryman's Ember had its overall damage nerfed alongside with the stacks required for it, so it shouldn't be a direct upgrade to Detonation anymore. And you can no longer use Berserk during Run It Back, which is another gank change that was abused a lot, especially in the higher levels of ganking, because it was super broken not having that Berserk downside and only having the upside before. For my Depths gankers out there, Flame Ballista Spring Spark can no longer be used in the air, so thank God some of these bird builds are finally catching a nerf, which has been needed for so long because depth ganking has been near unbearable with these builds just going around and torturing us lately. We also got some new content, although it wasn't much, but we did get a new True Seraph Spear crit, which is pretty cool, and some new equipments that look to be pretty cool too. The Mantle of Enmity definitely could be meta, and I'll be trying it out, or at least trying to get the Mantle first shortly, so hopefully it ends up being good in Top Chime. I really like the balance they did between content and balancing for this update because they made sure to not add too much content because they would have had to end up nerfing that same content next weekend. So honestly, it was super wise to make this decision here. And, if y'all have anything you think was bad or dumb in the update logs, let me know in the comments because Debug in general was full with angry mobs from this update, and I honestly thought it was one of the best updates we've gotten so far, so it just flat out shocked me. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.